Okay, hi everyone. I am Professor Surya Mishra. I hope you are able to see my screen and probably also see my face a little bit. Okay. I will be talking about digital marketing and developing digital marketing for your business. I'll be talking about very basic stuff. I will be talking about developing business through digital marketing. I'll be talking about that because I teach digital marketing at the School of Management at KIIT. I've been doing that for the last 9 years now. I started teaching in 2011. Before that, I used to be employed with companies like ITC and Nokia, where I started my digital marketing career. I handled the early brands in personal care product business of ITC. And that's how I started my journey in digital marketing. And that's why I'll be talking to you on that today. First is why. Why do digital marketing? I have divided digital marketing into two large parts as we look at it today: social media marketing and digital marketing. So why social media? Because you want to build influence in your category, to be recognized as an expert, to help clients remain engaged, to bust myths and propagate right conduct. If it is applicable to your category, it might not be applicable to all products and services. To, of course, sell products and services. We have some form of a marketplace implemented by Facebook today. So even through social media, you can sell stuff today as a platform. Not only get leads and drive traffic elsewhere, but also sell products and services. Secondly, digital media. You can get new and old customers, plus all of the work that you can do with social media, of course, through various parts of digital media. Raise awareness, build disposition. Disposition is as in how the customer feels towards you as a brand, feels towards your products and services, whether they're disposed to make a purchase, whether they intend to share and propagate your product and services, whether they are aware but not interested. So build disposition from negative towards positive, create leads, manage your lead pipeline, engage, and of course convert. I will be covering 4 things on this thing here. What should I post? Build influence, establish expertise, and attract new and old customers. So first up is, when you're planning your digital marketing campaign, your strategy, you have to ensure that you have a balanced diet. Like our bodies need balanced diets, any social media, digital media campaign also needs a balanced diet. I cannot just focus on one medium, one kind of marketing and be done with it and expect great results out of it. So first is have awesome curated content. Now people almost always, when they are paying for ads, underplay the power of curated content. Do not underplay the power of curated content. What is other people's content? You can make it your own, share it further, and share the sunshine a little bit on the way on through that. Have original content. Your own content that you have created, which is absolutely representative of your business, your brand, your product, your services. Brand it. Create it in a manner that it has the look and feel of your brand, and maintain that consistency throughout your campaigns, across campaigns, within campaign, across periods of time altogether, across medium, of course. You can post updates on business, whatever is happening, and what is happening with you, what is current, what you are doing new. For example, if you are creating a webinar like this one, so Batoi Systems, Mr. Ashwini Rath is involved in that. So it makes a lot of sense for him to include that in his social media campaign, in his digital marketing campaign. He might not spend money behind it. He might just put it as an organic post and expect some engagement out of it. It will probably get him a few attendees in the webinar, but that's not the objective here. The objective here is to let the wider world know what Batoi and Mr. Rath are doing in their lives, how they are able to establish expertise. Another thing that is very often underplayed by marketers is promotions and offers, especially on the digital platforms. People market without really creating an incentive for the customer to get converted right there, right then. And it is very, very important to use promotions and offers. If I use a promotion and offer, I'm able to leverage the medium, which is digital, which is absolutely in the now. So the consumer can make a purchase right there, right then, and get converted. It gives them an extra incentive to use that particular message that you have shared and get converted and get associated with your brand or product or services. Why should you build influence and what should you post upon? You should post upon trends that you see in business, topics related to your business that you have an opinion on. Refrain from opinions which are not related to your business. I have seen a lot of people suffer a lot in their businesses because of opinions that they hold elsewhere. I'll not take names or examples, but we know that people have commented politically or have had a certain opinion on a certain event or had expressed their economic opinions and gotten into trouble in their business. So refrain from opinions which are not related to your business. That will also help you build an audience which is interested in what you have to speak on your business rather than an audience which is interested in what you have to speak on other matters. So you'll be able to build a much more loyal following, which will be interested in your product and brands and services. Talk about do's and don'ts around your business. For example, if I am into travel and tourism, it makes sense for me to put up a blog on, or maybe a video log on how to choose a trip. How to plan for a staycation. Staycations are the new thing. So you stay at your home and you go on a vacation every single day. You come back and sleep on your own bed. So how do you plan for a staycation? So it makes sense for me to create a blog on staycations. So topics related to your business that you have an opinion on, do's and don'ts around your business, and finally in conferences or activities. So if I'm coming and doing this webinar here with you guys today, it makes sense for me to share that professionally on all the platforms that I am there on. Establish expertise, post little known facts about your business. So for example, if I'm into travel, I'll pick up little known facts, but which are kind of wow to a very defined set of audience. Startling facts. Did you know this? For example, I might say, did you know that the longest surviving text in the world is the Rig Veda? And then that is not right, so I'll have to maybe qualify it by saying the religious text, the longest surviving religious text. I have to showcase thought leadership. I have to predict about stuff. For example, a lot of these consulting companies today are talking about predictions on COVID-19, how it will pan out, how much effect it will have on businesses, how much effect it will have on healthcare, all sorts of things. Why are they doing this? Not only because they are staying at home and do not have anything better to do, but also because it showcases thought leadership. So later on, it doesn't really matter how the predictions pan out. Nobody really goes back and goes to a McKinsey and says, you predicted this, but this did not happen. For example, the 2008 crisis. None of the big consulting companies were able to predict it. None of the big consulting companies were told that you did not predict this, so you are not good enough. It did not affect their business. So showcase thought leadership, be bold enough to create predictions, talk about them, have basis, of course. Do not talk about opinions when you are creating predictions. Have some basis, put a lot of data and logic behind that. Detailed how-to-dos. So like I talked about in the last section, detailed how-to-dos about how to go about, if I'm into the food business, how to pick new cuisine, how to select a restaurant for tonight. So things like that. And it is absolutely okay that the audience might look at this and go to your competitor, but then they recognize you as an expert in that field, and that will in the end get you a lot more consumers than not doing it at all. Talk about achievements as your business, as individuals within the business. So of course, Mr. Rath will talk about his achievements, but any other employee of Batoi should also talk about the achievements of themselves and Batoi. So a great company will always have great employees. So by saying that my people have achieved, I also say that my company has achieved. So if I do something, my company takes a lot of pride in that. Interacting with leaders in your business area. Now this is a part of a strategy known as infiltration. So you infiltrate already established social media and digital properties on the web by commenting on them, by tagging them, by talking to them, by striking up a conversation with them. Identify the leaders in your area and have a conversation with them. Respond, quote, tag, and converse with the experts. Attract customers, post content on specialization and expertise, do promos, highlights with a clear call to action. A call to action is a direct instruction to the consumer to take an action. For example, if I create a campaign and say, do not say, for example, today's webinar, if I have created a post and I do not say join the webinar now or register for the webinar now, then the entire communication goes 4 ways. Join the webinar or register for the webinar has to be the call to action. It has to be prominently mentioned. It has to be clearly focused in the entire creative that I've created. Highlights with a clear call to action, drive from social media to website, phone, WhatsApp, business, because most of the conversion will happen on these 3 platforms. Either your website or your business or your business location physically, or phone or WhatsApp. Conversion over Facebook might happen, but in India we have not seen a lot of traction on the marketplace in Facebook. It's a different implementation anyways. Then finally, products and services and promotions. One thing that I have not mentioned here but I'd like to talk about is creating referral programs and loyalty schemes. We often do not have robust loyalty schemes and referral programs. It does not matter whether you're into B2B or B2C. Business to business or business to consumer. A lot of B2B businesses think that referral schemes or loyalty schemes are for consumer-led businesses only. It is not that. The best of businesses that B2B companies, business to business companies get is from referrals, but that is unstructured organic referral. So why not create a formal system around that and create an incentive for people to refer your business and be more loyal to your business. CPA, CPL, CPC, CPI, CPA-, CPM, and sponsorship are the major revenue models around which digital marketing works. What do these mean? CP starts for cost per in all of these. The first one is the most robust one, known as cost per acquisition. It is the most robust one because I can exactly track how much money I've spent behind a medium and how much money I got out of that by acquiring a customer. I typically have a value for each customer's lifetime that is called CLTV or CLV, customer lifetime value. So I typically have that worked out, and if I know exactly what is my cost per acquisition for a particular customer, I'll be able to track my ROI much better, and I'll be able to take marketing decisions much better. I'll be able to measure the returns on a particular campaign much better. The second one is CPL, cost per lead. Cost per lead that I acquire, somebody who has not yet gotten converted as a customer, but somebody who is shown interest. They have liked my content, or they have registered for a webinar, or they have done something which makes me believe that they are more interested in my product or service. CPC is cost per click. So online we count clicks. Much more important if you are doing something like SEM or any kind of display advertising. Cost per interaction is the next one, and CPA- is cost per action. So with the advent of social media and not a lot of opportunity to sell on that, we cannot really track cost per acquisition. We can on Facebook. We have a thing called Pixel, but on other platforms it becomes really difficult. So we count cost per action. How many likes did I get? How many engagement metrics did I get? Things like that. CPM is cost per mil. It's a traditional advertising jargon. It simply means cost per 1,000 impressions. Impression is one view. So cost per 1,000 views is CPM. It is still used as a model of revenue for a lot of these platforms, Facebook, Google, the native platforms like Taboola, etc. All of them use CPM also. And finally, sponsorship. This is usually negotiated settlement. So I'll not get into that. Let me get into the components of digital. The first one is SEO, search engine optimization. It has 2 components. One is called technical, one is called content. You should do both. It is not an option. Many people think of SEO, especially the technical part of it, as an option. It is not an option, especially if you are into a serious business. It has to be done. You have to get higher ranks in search. It is not something that you can keep as an option. There are very, very cost-effective solutions available on the net that you can search for and get it done. You can get a lot of even technical SEO done just by yourself, just by paying a few thousand rupees to an online consultant maybe. But content SEO you can do entirely by yourself. You don't need a consultant. You don't need to hire a business to do content SEO. www is my proxy for your web presence, your website. So also take care of that very well. I have seen really great and serious businesses do really badly on this this front, but it is not applicable to every single business. For example, I'll tell you a very successful business which has grown very, very fast, gotten a lot of accolades, but does not have a website. They have email IDs, they do not have websites. They only operate out of social media, and of course their physical locations. That is Wow Momo. Wow Momo, Wow China are two brands which do not have websites. They have the maximum traction on Facebook, but they also have presence on other social media, but they do the most on Facebook. Then mobile is a component of digital marketing. Sometimes we forget. Mobile now is split into two different things. One is direct messages, and second is apps and platforms like WhatsApp messaging platforms. Display and video ads, very, very important in today's world. The world is moving towards a more graphic content. So display and video. Content is a proxy for everything, including including video, but video, audio, images, graphics, infographics, text, blogs, stories, poems, videos, whatever. All of that is content. So it is spread all across the web, straddling over digital media and social media. Then the social media marketing part of it, which covers some of these platforms. I have missed out putting the TikTok here. Twitter, Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and TikTok. If you do all these 6 platforms, you're doing most of it. Apart from that, I would also recommend maybe Quora for all businesses, and Reddit for specific businesses if your audience is already there. And finally, search engine marketing, which is related to search. I've already covered part of that, so I'll not spend time on that. Let me get ahead with my presentation. Yeah. One of the key orientation differences that you need to have from traditional marketing to inbound marketing or online marketing, digital marketing, is the orientation of inbound marketing, where you are waiting for customers to come in to you rather than you going out and distributing pamphlets to them. The more outbound your business is in terms of marketing, the worse off you are in the long term, because you lose a lot of customers. Outbound marketing is still valuable, but for mass companies. If you are in Airtel, you have to send spam calls, you have to send spam SMSs and emails. You will be flagged for spam. Most of your customers will just get annoyed with you, but you need to do that because you are targeting almost everyone. But for most businesses, you cannot do outbound marketing. You cannot do push. You have to look for pull. So attract, convert, close, and delight. Those are the 4 steps. Your consumer goes from becoming a stranger to promoting your brand if you do it right. There are specific media given on the bottom. I'll not cover that. I'll go into the next one. Steps to creating a digital marketing strategy. This is very important. Most people who run campaigns, successful or otherwise, often skip this, and they're not able to have consistency in their campaigns, and they come back, and sometimes there have been clients who have come to me and told, Surya, I ran a campaign, it went fantastic, but then the follow-up campaign did not really do well. Where did I go wrong? Because the 2 campaigns were so different and so differently implemented, it did not really matter. Or maybe because the second campaign was looked as so similar to the first one that it did not matter to the consumer again. So first step in creating a digital marketing strategy is to build your own buyer persona. A buyer persona is the picture of your ideal customer, what she looks like, what she does, what is her age, what are her interests, what media does she consume, Does she use Instagram more than Facebook? And that will decide whether you do Facebook ads more than Instagram. So be very careful about creating your buyer persona. Who's going to buy from you? What are her pain points regarding your category? What does she want to do? What does she want to achieve? These are the questions that you need to ask and answer for yourself. There are wonderful buyer persona templates created by HubSpot and a few other companies. Please refer to them and create your buyer personas. Evaluate your existing digital channels and assets and create a calendar for those posts. Okay, sorry, I skipped it. Identify your goals and the digital marketing tools you will need. So what do you want to achieve with your digital marketing? And at different stages of the company, it will be different things. For example, if you're a startup, you have no business to get into conversion as a goal. Your only business right now is to just think of digital marketing as to let people know that you exist at all. You don't have any business to talk about conversion. That does not mean for a moment that you will not put a call to action, or wherever possible you will not plug in a sales link. It simply means that is not your first priority. If you're an established company which everybody knows, then you're probably looking at people to think better of you, engage with you, think of you as the first brand when the category comes to mind, or maybe buy something from you. So then your objectives change. So identify your objectives and goals first, evaluate your existing assets and channels, create a calendar of posts and campaigns. It is extremely important to get your digital marketing campaign organized. I'll speak a little more on that a little later. Audit and plan your owned media campaigns. Owned media is media which you own. So there are three kinds of media: owned media, earned media, and paid media. Media which I own, for example, my website is my owned media. For example, my Facebook page is owned media. My Instagram handle is owned media. My Twitter handle is my owned media. My blog post is my owned media. Earned media is where other people are talking about me. For example, shares on Facebook of my post. For example, a news item related to my company or what I have done. That is earned media. Then finally, paid media, where I pay for the medium, for the space, for the ad that I put there. So I pay for that. That is paid media. So audit and plan your earned media campaigns always. Also plan your other things and also audit that, but this is some part that marketers often forget to do. For example, periodic review is required to see whether my logo is updated, whether my company details are updated, whether my phone numbers are updated, whether the people working for my company are updated or not, whether my team details on my website are matching what is the current status right now, things like that. Okay, this looks like a busy slide. I'll just skim through it. It's not a lot of information, just a lot of separated information. Steps to create a digital marketing calendar. Very, very important step for everyone. Please pay attention. 69% of companies which use digital marketing use an editorial calendar for their organic content. The rest, 30% who do not use, fare really badly on organic posting on social media and digital media. The top three goals that B2B content marketers have is lead generation, 85% of them, sales, 84% of them, and lead nurturing, 78% of them. So I'm sure if you're a B2B marketer, most of you will have this. If you are a B2C marketer, even then, these top three goals will be within your top 5 for sure. 35% of content marketers publish content weekly. 91% of the best business bloggers publish weekly or more often. If you ask me how often should your business post or publish, my answer is daily, at least once on Facebook, at least once on Instagram, and at least 4 times original content on Twitter. And at least once on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you can go a little slower, it is okay. But Facebook and Instagram, you have to post daily almost if you want to do really well through those platforms. How do these people do it, these best bloggers and best content marketers? By being consistent, by being efficient, and being effective. So be very, very consistent, maintain a look and feel, maintain consistency around your times. Timing, especially when you're talking about organic posts on social media, becomes very, very important. So typical timings is upfront in the morning around 7:30 to 9. Efficiency by targeting the people, effectiveness by choosing the relevant content only. Know your audience and know who will do what in your team. So assemble your team, create a team where you delegate responsibility, who will be doing the daily posting, who will be creating the content, who will be supervising it. If you are a really established company, you have a lot of bandwidth, you can create a dedicated social media team, probably go for something like this. Narrow down the roles, brainstorm who will help you, get everyone on the same page, find a marketing calendar tool. There are lots of tools available online. Please make a Google search and you will have a lot of those. It is very important to define themes. What are the things that I'm going to post on in my social media and digital media? So create themes. These themes will be according to different buyer personas that you have created or different problems that your buyer personas have. So create themes and always adhere to that. Prioritize content based on buying intent and map your content on your calendar. So create a calendar, map when you are going to post what, so that will ensure that you do not miss out on something really, really important. Okay, great. I'll talk about Facebook marketing now. Now, almost all of us would already know that Facebook marketing is done through pages and not profiles. So you have to be there on Facebook. It is not a choice anymore. If you're a business, be there on Facebook. Simple as that. You might not have a website. I can imagine scenarios where you might not have a website, but you have to have a presence on Facebook. Just be there. Forget everything. Be there. You have to do engagement. You have to create and run events. So events like this one, for example, this webinar event can be run on Facebook. On Facebook, building followers, driving traffic to phone, messenger, and website, even if you are not using Facebook itself to make sales. I'll skip this. Facebook allows you a lot of flexibility and control over your ads. So boost your posts once in a while. Do not need to spend a lot of money there, but create a calendar and ensure that you're spending at least a subsistence amount of money. That subsistence amount will vary from company to company. For example, if I'm a small business expecting around a lakh of revenue a month, then probably I should not be spending more than 2,000, 4,000 rupees on Facebook ads unless I'm able to derive a great ROI over that. If I'm an established business with a few crores of revenue in a month, then probably a few tens of thousands make sense for me behind Facebook ads. The beauty is that if you control budgets and outcomes, always try to remarket and do that. Facebook has changed a lot. Now it has a lot of options to control and delegate control over my Facebook ad account. So try to utilize that. I have shown this as an example of something that I've done some time ago. I think this was for my NGO back during Diwali, and we were running a campaign around Green Diwali, and I spent 500 rupees on that. I got 1,684 results and close to 7,000 reach. So cost per result was around 0.3 per engagement is what I'm counting here. So you can get fabulous reach and fabulous results out of your Facebook ads. So do that. Awareness, consideration, and conversion are the three stages in which your buyers are. Depending upon which stage they are in, you'll have to have plan your campaign differently. For most businesses which are not really big, you can run your Facebook campaign all by yourself with little or no help. There is enough material available on the internet to help you plan your campaign. Twitter is mostly for influence building. If your business requires influence, for example, if you're a consultant or a lot of your audience is already there on Twitter, then you might want to do that. If you're a B2B company, you have to be there on Twitter. But if you're a B2C company, you don't always need to be on Twitter, especially if you are into mass products, because Twitter does not have a lot of traction in India, but it is used as an influencer tool. So a lot of influencers are already there and they can influence a lot of other people, especially the media. Almost all journalists today have access to Twitter. Ads on Twitter, don't need to do that in India for most cases. Very rarely will you be in a consulting kind of a business and you'll probably need to do targeted ads on Twitter. Instagram is controlled by Facebook, so I'll not cover that. LinkedIn, whoever you are, whatever business you are in, always be there on LinkedIn. Doesn't matter if you're in the mass consumer product business, be there on LinkedIn. As individuals, it will create your employer brand at the very least. And this is the most important part, be there on Google, have a presence on Google Business, run ad campaigns on Google Ads. It used to be AdWords earlier, it is Google Ads now. Have a physical location presence on Google Map. It is extremely easy to do that. Have a web presence, do the SEO and SEM on that, and have a YouTube channel. If you are a really big brand, if you're into content, if you're into the glamour business, the media business, then you definitely need to have a YouTube channel as well. So I'll complete my presentation here. If you have any questions for now or later, here are my details. You can reach out to me later, and I'll pass on control to Mr. Rath now to answer the questions which have already been asked to him. And if I'm being asked any questions, I'll take that later. Thanks a lot.